There. There we go. Three, two, and one. Well, Mayor Zacher, appreciate you joining us here kind of on short notice for your go around here at Mayor's Monday, WSAU, WSAU.com. Summer vacation schedule wrapping up, I understand. So tell us, what have you done this summer? That's worth noting.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. A summer vacation. A lot of people. I'm seeing the cycle happen as this is my second year at the city, and a lot of people are on vacation. So things slow down quite a bit, and everybody kind of goes into a little bit of a slower mode. Although construction season kicks in full speed ahead, and they're doing
Mhm.
great. Excuse me, doing the projects that they're working on and getting ahead of schedule, which is good because we're trying to find out ways to utilize our construction department and our engineer department to help out with some other projects if we can as we go through the year and finish up all the slated stuff. So it's been good. But yeah, I even jumped down to Florida with my family. My kids are all getting older now, so if I can get some time with even some of them, I think it's a good thing to make some memories. Hit a deer on the way down about an hour from home, so that was fun. Trying to bend my
Oh,
van back apart so we could keep driving.
oh no.
Everybody was okay, so that's the
Everybody,
important
yeah,
thing.
everybody is okay. The deer,
Yeah,
I assume, has been disposed of in a
have
prop.
no idea. I think I slowed down enough. I think he was able to keep running, so
Oh,
it was
okay.
a bummer.
All right. Well, he's just going on the IL then
Yeah,
for a couple of weeks, I guess. But
yeah,
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 any chance you get to
yeah.
make a memory like that. I was playing trading card trading with my nephew, and I tell you what, the shinier that trading card, the more those 6 and 7 year olds want it.
Oh
It
yeah,
doesn't matter who's on it. They want it badly enough that you're going to be able to swing a pretty good business deal with them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And speaking of business deals, though, I know you've got one that, to put it kindly, is going to hurt a bit for the city of Wisconsin Rapids. Tell us what you know about a project that was announced roughly a year ago, another data center for the city. I understand that's kind of fallen through for the time being.
Yeah, yeah. So again, I'm gonna do this as nicely as possible in terms of how all these things play out. But when DPO is the company, and we've been visited by many of these companies, digital AI database companies, that are just really coming out of the woodwork. And what we're understanding, like DPO came and talked with Quebco in town here, our commercial or industrial power company, and they set up a deal to have like 5 acres, set up a building and get starting with 5 megawatts of energy, going up to like 20 possibly. And they kind of come in, and what they want is the power, and so they try to lock up in a contract the amount of power that they're going to need. But many times, what I'm learning from them is that they don't actually have the customers yet. They're just trying to lock up the power and kind of set up a transaction in motion. But then if they don't actually get the company that wants the data storage, then they have to say, well, the transaction's not working out, so they have to back out of the deal. So and there's lots of them that are going around the state, I assume the whole country and probably the whole world, because everybody's trying to ramp up for the whole AI revolution that they think is coming. But at the same time, it may not be coming as fast as they think it's coming, and that's why they'll come in a hurry and try to lock up as much power as they can and say they're gonna, build into a 500 megawatts over the next couple of years. But again, what I'm learning, again, being nice about it, I think it's a business model that's happening, but they're a little bit cart before the horse, I guess, if you will, and they're doing these things, and then if they don't work out, they can't necessarily take on the monetary investment if they can't find the customers that they actually need in order to pay those bills. So that's kind of what happened. I have no doubt we're going to continue to bring in people and customers and use the power that we have. We still have about 80 megawatts of power that's available. So if people are out there and they're looking for it, it's here. We have a great infrastructure for that. Also looking at some manufacturing that can come in. Right now, we're kind of I don't want to say holding, but we're slowing down the pace on some possibilities because the I believe they're calling it the big beautiful bill, something like
Mhm.
that. There, so that's got we have to kind of work our way through that at a state level and figure out what's going on with the incentive packages that are there for different projects and all that, and what's gonna happen the next couple of years according to that plan. So it's a big transition time, and everybody's reading as fast as they can and trying to figure out what's what and what it actually means.
And of course, this is all something that we're learning about on the fly. As you mentioned with the big, beautiful bill, many people may not have a chance to know exactly what's in it yet, what it's going to mean for local
Right.
municipalities like Wisconsin Rapids. You're, in a way, teaching us about how these data center deals work on the fly, which I'm sure is something that you've had to learn on the fly as well. So just kind of take a step back here for a minute. Is it safe to say that these companies they want to contract a deal for as much of the power that's being generated as possible, so that way they are in control of it? And say somebody else comes along, you said we've got 80 megawatts. If they've contracted for half of it and some manufacturing needs it, well, uh, they've got to work out a deal with the company, kind of a third party transaction. Is that a fair way of putting it? Am I over simplifying it, or just making things up on the fly, so to speak?
Yeah, no, yeah, there's a bit of a danger factor in the sense of, well, there's two avenues that can cause issues for the power company, but I consider it for the whole community because if they do well, we do well. If they don't do well, we have an issue going on. One I was just talking about was somebody from WWLC, uh, Todd Weiler, the GM there, and just like if a company comes in and says we need 200 megawatts, and all of a sudden that power company starts putting in the infrastructure to get to 200 megawatts, and then they pull out. Well, now that power company just invested a bunch of money and signed a bunch of contracts to get that power to come in. And then if they pull out and that goes away, well, now they're on the hook for that money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one danger factor. And then the other one would be um, if they do actually come in and take, let's say, the whole 80 megawatts, now we have no power left for manufacturing. And we do have manufacturers that are out there, and obviously Trump and his administration are doing a lot to try to pull manufacturing back to America, but it's going to take time for us to be able to build that infrastructure back up
Right.
again. And hopefully we stay on that track. We've learned our lessons through COVID and the things that have happened since then, knowing that we want our supply chains a little closer to home, not to mention the good paying jobs too. So yeah, if we give all the power to the database companies, it's a good thing because they're buying that power from you from the power company at the rates that they're charging, but now you have no power for manufacturing and other jobs because database companies don't provide many jobs. Once it's all set up, like they'll hire people to build the buildings and put in all the equipment, but most of it's going to be off-site where they can remote into the facility and take care of the electronics, the
Right.
computing side of it from there. So you have a few people watching over the buildings, making sure they're safe and the climate control and all that kind of stuff. But it's not a big job producer or creator. So yeah, we definitely want to try to balance that out. CRG has been doing a great job with trying to balance out bringing in different companies to try to get a mix of that, which is good. For Quebco, again, they don't have a choice. It's kind of first come, first serve. If they have the power, whoever comes first and starts using it, those are the folks that get it.
Right. So that said, what is next for this area now that you've got this land back out there on the market, so to speak? Of course, you've said a balance between these AI data centers and manufacturing might be what is best for the community. Do you have a wish list? Have you had those discussions behind the scene, or is this maybe just going to be a speed bump because you're talking to somebody else already about this?
Yeah, no, it's I guess yeah, you could call it like a speed bump or a learning curve or just understanding like um, like any business, you can't put your all your eggs into one basket. So you got to diversify as much as possible, and that's what we're working on. Again, with this big beautiful bill, or I wish there was a different name to that, but we'll go with it for now.
Right.
But to just see how that plays out because it is affecting, manufacturing and everything else that is, possibly coming to our area or anybody's area for that matter. But ultimately, all those conversations are still being had, and there's a lot of conversations going on at one time. And you're just trying to work out the pieces to the puzzle. You gotta imagine like this isn't just a 1,200, 1,500 square foot building on Main Street. This is a massive, hundreds of thousands of square feet, massive building,
Right.
massive power. Like what we're talking when we say 80 megawatts, that's like it's an enormous amount of power. So it's all there and all the pieces are in place. Again, it's kind of nice because, like say when DPO released their press release that said they were investing $200 million in the Wisconsin Rapids, we didn't really know like that was not brought to us and talked about. So when everybody was I'm I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot here, but I'm okay with that. Everybody's going to congratulate me. My job is to just make sure the conversations continue to happen. But when it comes down to the final deals, I think if anything, I just made sure we didn't get in the way. I think that's the important part. But ultimately, I don't necessarily deserve a ton of credit as a mayor for that. But at the same time, you get it, which is nice. But then when things fall apart, like this is going to fall apart, I'm also going to get the other side of it, which
No doubt.
is okay. I got thick enough skin. I can handle it, just like any
So,
mayor has to take the good with the bad and try to
mhm.
balance it out. So
So
it'll all
any
work out.
manufacturer that needs 6.5, 7, maybe a dozen acres and some power, contact Matt
Yeah.
Zacher at the City of Wisconsin Rapids City Hall. He would love to talk to you.
Yeah, we'll go even further because that was a Quebco property. So that was 20-acre parcel that Quebco owns. We still are looking at what as the craft mill is still coming down and they're on schedule. Again, MRD is doing a great job communicating and just they know what they got to do and methodically that mill is coming down and it's going to all be gone. That'll be 250 acres of prime real estate for new buildings going up and the power to power those machines. So very excited about that. That's still out there, and we'll keep moving forward on that. But between CRG owning the mill and MRD holding up to their agreements and making sure that the city will be in a good position after that craft mill is all down, that's great. They're doing a great job.
So, taking a look outside your office right now, what is the view? Because I know your window kind of overlooked that mill, and you've been getting to see this progress in real time right now. What is
Um,
what is the view right now?
yeah, so of that 250 acres, the entirety of that property is over 1,000 acres. So
Hmm.
when I look out, if I'm looking right out my window right now, I'm looking at the base mill and the converting mill. So to the back side of my building is where the 16 mill building is, and then the craft mill that's coming down. So I can't see that, although I check on it regularly to just kind of see the progress and our WRCM, Wisconsin Rapids Community Media, is doing some work to get some footage so they can share it on the way airwaves so people can kind of be a part of the process.
Hmm.
But the base mill and the converting mill, the two other big buildings out of the three big buildings that are here, have been sold already. One to Sunoco, and they're
Hmm.
making their brown paper products, and they're taking on other customers. And then Billerud, who previously owned the mill, bought the or kept ownership of the converting mill, and so they bring their rolls down from the Upper Peninsula and bring them here to be converted into what they need for, the retail side of business. So they're doing that. They both have somewhere in the ballpark of 150 employees. So they were able to hire those folks back and keep their things moving along, as well as ND Papers or Nine Dragons as they bought out the beer and mill and they're looking to hire some people and start up their old machine. They built a new machine and building and they're looking to fire up the old one. They own the wastewater treatment plant behind us and they bought that so that that's open for the other companies to use as well.
So, all that said, right now, city in a better place than it was in July of 2020 when this all went down and the mill basically idled and later shut down for good.
Yeah, I think that I've had a lot of feedback from people, and again, it's nice to get the pat on the back to say, Matt, we appreciate like moving forward. Like they felt for so long that the town, their fear was that it was a dying city. And the sense right now is like we have to be excited about the future. Like, and it comes down to us. And I know you and I have talked about this before. Like I, as the government outside of me they don't create jobs. Again, my job is to try to keep them out of the way, take care of the I's and T's and make sure that everything's done legally and we get what we need. But ultimately, be excited about what's coming for the future and the businesses that will start, and that's going to be small businesses. That's going to be people in the community that start up their own thing and they hire one person or five people and those grow into small medium-sized businesses. These things are here, and if we can get them filled up even more, so the 16 building and whatever comes where that craft mill is, that's all great, but that's harder stuff to do. The easier stuff is building our own business, see what's out there in the world that needs to be done, and start your own business doing that. And it's easier said than people think, or it's easier done than people think. And you just start small and you build gradually and you build up to what can be. But small business is always going to be the backbone of the entire world's economy. So that's what we have to focus on, and then let the city take care of this stuff. And it's going to fall where it may. But I think the biggest thing there, to answer your question in a very winded way, is we're moving forward and we're excited about the future. And yeah, we're going to have hiccups along the way. This big stuff does not happen overnight, and it's not easy. Really, in the end, the entire world is competing for these same businesses. So
Mhm.
it's a huge market in that sense. So we'll keep plugging away at it. Kyle Kearns, the community development department director, he does a good job, as
Mhm.
well as Melinda from the state and Angel from Synergy that helps us out with the regional stuff. They all work together really hard to promote the state, the region, and our city. So they're really fun to work with and doing a great job. And think good things are coming.
Absolutely. Well, Mayor Zacher, we always appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to chatting again next month. And maybe who knows, we'll have something bigger like that to tell the people at that time. I mean, that's quickly enough, right?
Yeah,
1
appreciate
month?
it.
Why not? Why not?
Thanks for giving me some time. Appreciate it.